Ideas. There are ideas that change the way we work.
In other centuries, they would have called it magic.
Ideas that got us connected. That made us communicate better with each other. Ideas that got smarter and smarter and smarter. They're the ones that caused revolutions.
Goodbye, David.
And others that seem like a thing of the past now. There are the ones that are obsolete and ideas that promised us freedom, but in the end delivered us nothing but stress, that we tried to compensate with funny ideas. We thought of something different. A simple idea that turns idle workspace into places where you connect with companies, where you share knowledge with other creative minds or digital nomads. Where you are is where you work. You spend fewer hours on the road and you gain precious time for a better work-life balance. It's called Work Hero. Is it a game changer?
I beg your pardon?
We like to think so, but we'll let you be the judge of that. Check out Work Hero on workhero.com. Work Hero, connecting space and knowledge.
En Global Omnium queremos hablarte de esas pequeñas cosas a las que no damos valor, porque siempre están ahí. Y hablarte de todas esas cosas que nunca fallan, porque cuando a una cosa cotidiana le sumas otra que siempre funciona, suceden cosas extraordinarias. Tan extraordinarias como abrir un grifo y que corra el agua. En Global Omnium llevamos más de 125 años poniendo en valor lo extraordinario. Porque extraordinaria es la gestión eficiente de una red de tuberías superior a la distancia que separa Valencia y Nueva York, ida y vuelta. Porque extraordinario son más de 2.400 personas trabajando 24 horas al día para que en el grifo de tu casa o negocio fluya el agua. Porque extraordinaria es la tecnología inteligente que te avisa de posibles fugas o de si te has dejado un grifo abierto. Porque extraordinario es el desarrollo y la innovación que logramos para garantizar un buen servicio a más de 6 millones de personas en toda España. Porque extraordinario es la gestión del agua que hemos desarrollado para ser una empresa eficiente y respetuosa con el medio ambiente. Porque extraordinario es aportar soluciones para mejorar la calidad de vida en otros países. Global Omnium es la empresa española líder en la gestión del ciclo integral del agua. Global Omnium, el valor del agua.
I'm delighted, and I hope we'll be able to do it again, and also that the solutions which were showcased here can maybe inspire real-life solutions in the future.
Es un honor que hayan contado con nosotros como aceleradora, con nuestro programa Startup Europe Accelerator, en el primer hackathon con el director general de innovación de la Comisión Europea para soluciones en el campo de cambio climático y reducción de emisiones.
I also congratulate Finova, which was part of the winning team, a team which worked on a really interesting solution to make construction at long last sustainable. Well done. Thank you very much.
Buenos días, good morning, and welcome to a new webinar during the European Green Week, the official Green Week of the DG Environment. And this webinar during the next 1 hour and a half will be about and around the live Ecodigestion project. What we will try to discuss in this open platform and networking is about how European Union challenges about waste management. Today we will discuss about the organic waste and the role of the depuration water treatment plant, and how this innovative solution from the leader of the project, of the LIFE project we are today, is Global Omnium from the Suez Group. Today we will have also some other projects under the LIFE, what is quite unique, because as you may know, in just some days, on the 15th June, the new LIFE call will be published. We are talking of an amount of 5,500 million euros. And perhaps we can together be inspired in about how to submit and how to create new project consortium. My name is Juanma Revuelta. Today I'm in Gran Canarias and I'm from the Fundación Finnova. And I'm going to give the floor to Mr. Jaime del Castillo, who is the Director of Institutional Relations of Global Omnium from Valencia. We are going to connect with Valencia. And Jaime, the floor is yours, and congratulations, because this Second Life project, Ecodigestion, that allowed to us to understand how to use that infrastructure for that challenge of the solid organic waste, from the pig slurry, from the supermarkets, from the Horeca sector, etc. The floor is yours, Jaime.
Thank you very much, Juanma. And of course, thanks to the Life Ecodigestion 2.0 project team for inviting me to participate in this event. And of course, to all of you for your interest, your time, and your attention. I'm going to share my screen. Okay. And also use just a second. Sorry, Juanma, to correct you, because we are not a part of the Suez group. We are a proper company, Global Omnium, and we consider ourselves as a good competitor, and we compete against Suez Group and other companies in the market. Well, let's start. Psychologists have taught us that there is a comfort zone in which we tend to stay if there is no event that forces us to stop being there. In this, even in cases when the discomfort is small, we tend to bear it rather than look for a remedy, especially if to change these circumstances, it is necessary to go through some risk. As it happened, this is the case of a mild toothache, when most of us prefer to not to go to the dentist until the pain is actually unbearable. But it is impossible to improve our performance when we are installed in our comfort zone. There is not spur to change. However, does not mean that the situation is the best of all the possibles, and also that no risk is being taken. As operators of essential public service, such as those included in the urban water cycle, we must assume that the responsibility that this entails, and constantly be aware to find better ways to do our job. But better is a too open and empty concept, and considering that water comes to us from our environment and comes back to it after we use it, and that the cost of the managing all these services has to be financed by the people that enjoys these services, the word sustainable is more appropriate than just better, because as said in the report Our Common Future, also known as Brundtland Report, sustainable development is a development that meets the needs of the present times without compromising the ability of the future generation to meet their own needs. When looking for a more sustainable way of providing the services we provide, all the three aspects of sustainability must be considered. It is to say the social, the environmental, and the economical part. All of them have to be achieved inside the perimeter that law permits. Although experience shows us that truly sustainable attitude fulfills all the axes of these three axes of sustainability, at a first glance it can be considered and have some discussion about which of these three axes has to more widely satisfied than the others. Here is when the concept of circular economy can help us to focus on what is actually important. Before going further, I have to admit that in our case, the initial motivation has usually been the economic one, efficiency. Always burdened by lack of economic resources, we try to do our best with the least of money. We also are driven to this obsession by an economic frame where the short-term result is prioritized, even up to avoid investing to allow them to be prepared to the future worse circumstances, like the ones caused by the global warming and the increase of population. Consequently, we look constantly for efficiency. But fortunately, either as we have been lucky to in our first decision, or if we have followed a thoughtful process to improvement the statement of the problem statement, having this open mind, we are able to discover the new opportunities and the new opportunities, profits, when also considering the effects of the environment and the society, and not just considering on the effects on our activity or business. I like to say that this is the moment when, in this moment, we pass from the idea of the urban water cycle to the idea of the whole water cycle, and from it to the idea of the whole material and energy cycle. At Global Omnium, we have several examples of this way of moving towards the future in all of the steps of the water cycle. I would like to highlight that in all of them, also, digital transformation is a key component of all these initiatives. But today we are meeting around the project Life Ecodigestion 2.0 as part of the EU Green Week 2021, a project that is a second step, and surely not the last one, in our path towards the horizon of a circular economy in wastewater treatment. For us, it is important to use any opportunity like this one to communicate how essential is to support this kind of projects, and the deployment also of the results of these projects, incorporating them to the existing wastewater treatment plants, after being tested, of course, in all the afterlife projects experiences. Now, I once read that an evidence of the evolution is that the most evolved species is the smallest is the simplest molecule with nitrogen. This species excretes. So only terrestrial vertebrates excrete urea, when animals in lower level of evolution excrete more complex molecules, and therefore with more energy. With ecodigestion, with the codigestion of sludge, an amount of energy is extracted from the sludge and is used for the purpose of producing less harming results of the wastewater treatment. And please realize that I'm using the word results because I prefer not to call them waste or subproduct or product, because as far as I expect, all these products, all of them, these results, will become a product in the future. Circular economy is a challenge we ought to cope with, a spur to take ourselves, the society and the governments out of our respective comfort zones. Nature, written with capital letters, must be considered as a partner, not only a resource. As a loan we borrow, not as our exclusive property. Ourselves, as theoretical experts in water, apart to provide the best and the cheapest way the service we manage, we must tell the society that the earth is not a landfill and we are not so rich to be discharging the waste products here and there. There is not a planet B, and this means that there is not a river B, or a beach B, or a prairie B. And there will not be a humanity B if we don't evolve as a society, not as single human beings. If we don't evolve as a part and a partner of the nature. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Jaime. What I would like to highlight is the importance of this solution if we want to scale in a bigger way. Allow me to share with you about the recovery plan of Spain, the Next Generation Fund. Allow me to explain that what our government in Spain has submitted is that 40%, almost 40%, in fact 39% of the funding has to be committed to the fighting against climate change, sustainability, and the so-called Green Deal. And allow me to share some figures about the component 7, integration of renewable energy. We are talking the government has for Spain, for the next, in this recovery plan that has to be defined in the next 2 years. We're talking of 3,165 million euros. About electric infrastructures, promotion of intelligent networks, and also energy storage, and we will see how this project helps to the energy storage. We are talking of 1,365 million euros in Spain. And about the component 9 is about the all what is around hydrogen energy and the sectoral integration. And of course, in a bigger scale, this kind of projects, how to manage this solid waste in a local scale near your water treatment plant can help to this energy. And finally, about the strategy of fair transition, we are talking of 308 million euros. What does it mean? If we have this project and we have the methodology and the technology and the software, the digital software, and it works in a depuration water treatment plant, why not to dream? Why not to design in a bigger scale, in a regional scale, the region of Valencia, or we have here some Portuguese partners. Why not to do in some regions? Then we could arrive to this challenge: how to use talent and concepts from a small pilot demonstration plant project, a live project, into a next generation project. We are talking of projects of 60 million euros. We are talking of at least. Okay, but now we are going to connect with Paul Granel. He's the manager of the depuration water treatment plant in Quart Benahaver from Global Omnium in the province of Valencia. And Paul can explain better than me how is this process, how can it help to increase the biogas produced and how it decrease the cost of the energy. And perhaps in the future we will see why not to become this plant a prosumer, produce energy, consume energy, and why not, if you produce biogas enough, why not to sell to the net? Paul, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Juanma. I go to, first of all, presentation. It's okay, no?
It's okay.
Yeah?
Go ahead.
Well, I go to speak about the live Ecodigestion number 2. First of all, I will introduce the first step of this project that was Ecodigestion, or Ecodigestion 1, if we are speaking about the 1 and 2, where we had different objectives. That was, first of all, we want to increase the biogas production, to increase the capacity of waste codigestion, and to increase the biogas methane concentration, because years ago, when we see that we have a lot of co-substrates around the wastewater treatment plant of Valencia, and in the other skills of Valencia, we have the possibility of work with co-substrate that we can introduce in the anaerobic digesters. But the capacity of anaerobic digester change with the sludge and co-substrate. And we think we need a tool or a software to work with the co-substrates. When we analyze all of these new problems or new possibility to work, we start with 2 prototypes of 1.5 cubic meter in the wastewater treatment plant of Quarbenacher. And we start to work with the new software, of the idea of the new software to work with the anaerobic digesters. But the problem sometimes when you are working in a full scale is that you can have a lot of problems. Then we prefer to start this Ecodigestion 1 to work with prototypes, not in a full scale. Then the first results of this project of 4 years, the first life, we have a mean deviation between the biogas predict and the biogas target around 2%. With the biogas target and the biogas experimental was near 10%. And for us, these results were a good results because it was an important tool for the operator manager of the wastewater treatment plant. Then we think that could be a good tool for the operators, first of all, the people of Global Omnium, and maybe for more people. Then here you can see the results of the Ecodigestion, where we reduce the biogas that was burned in the torch from 10 to 4%, and we increase the co-substrate treatment capacity about 46% of COD. And at the same time, we are working with the mathematical equation of the anaerobic digesters. We had a good stability of the anaerobic digester. That for us it was the most important thing, because when you introduce co-substrate, you can have a stabilization or problems with the anaerobic digesters. Then with this idea, start the objective of Eco number 2, Ecodigestion 2, where the objectives were more or less the same of Eco 1, but working in a full scale. Then we went to increase the biogas production. We went to increase the capacity of well co-digestion, but in this second part of the project, we want to work with manure, because it's a big problem that nowadays we have in Spain with this waste. Then we want to work with this co-substrate in our software. And at the same time, we want to increase the biogas methane, because where it's not only produce biogas, because if you are working with a unit of cogeneration, or maybe you are in the gas natural network, you need a high percentage of methane. Then it was for us a big objective. Then what happens then when we're looking for the places where to work? First of all, we think, of course, in Quarbenacher, because we have the experience of work during more than 10 years with co-substrates. We have the pilot plant here. And in other hand, we want to know a plant that works with manure. Then we work with a good partner, Aguas do Centro Litoral, that in the wastewater treatment plant of Coimbra, they work with manure and with a high percentage. Then for us was maybe the best place for the validation of this new software. And with Quarbenacher, where we work with a lot of food waste, and in Coimbra with a high percentage of manure, will be the best places to the validation of this new software. Then we need to do a little changes in the pilot plan. You can see here the mixer of the plant, because with the menu we can change a lot the characteristics of this one from winter and summer. Maybe then we do a little changes in the pilot plan. And other point that was very important for us was, because we are working in a full scale, was to see the different units that will demand biogas in the wastewater treatment plant or other facilities. Then we have maybe units of cogenerations, boilers of the water or other things, upgradings of the biogas if in some facility introduce the biogas in the gas natural network, and that nowadays is an important point because the gas natural companies are looking for more places where introduce biogas. And other point that, for example, in Cuarvenaje, we had a dryer of the sludge where we reduce the humidity of the sludge from 80% to 10%. Years ago, this unit works with natural gas, and nowadays we are working with biogas. Then with all these units, we will see that we will have different demands during the day. If you, for example, first of all, you are working only with the boiler, after that you are working with the unit of cogeneration, then the system will work, the new software, looking for this demand of biogas. In this moment, we will search the best diet of substrate of menu to arrive to this demand of biogas. But another point that we analyzed was that the first Ecodigestion project needs a little improvements to be more robust, because we want to work in a full-scale plant, and the operators need a robust scalable software. At the same time, we thought that for the operator plant, it will be very important to have a digital twin. What is digital twin? It's the software will work in a full-scale plant, but at the same time, the operator will have another digital twin working in parallel at the same time, where you can introduce different co-substrate before working a full scale. At the same time, we introduced the machine learning that will help us in when you are working with a sludge or co-substrate, this concentration could change during the day, during the period that you are working. Then the machine learning will search the best conditions and the best parameters in each moment to reduce the difference between the biogas predicted and the real biogas. And at the same time, and for us very important, is that we introduce different models in the system that is calculate the CO2 emissions every 15 minutes. You know, in every 15 minutes, the CO2 emissions that you are, the reduction of CO2 emissions, the energy benefits, and we think that it's very important that you know in your system in each moment what is happening, and if you want to change things, because maybe the cost of the energy in this moment is very expensive, then will be a good tool for that. Not only a good tool for the cost substrate, at the same time, we'll know the CO2 emission that's sometimes very important for the operator. Then here you can see now we are working, of course, in the project with friendly screens, because if we want to be a software that very friendly with the operator, where you can introduce the different tanks that you have in the plant, the different slides that you introduce in the anaerobic digesters, and you every 15 minutes at the same time you have the CO2 emission. You know how is working your anaerobic digesters. If you have problems with that, the system send you a message and say stop it, you have problems. And for us it's very important, because the operator knows every moment what happens in you anaerobic digester, and if you can introduce more co-substrate, etc. And what is the idea of the project? Of course, first of all, in Cuarbenager and Coimbra, where we will work during these years with Aguas do Litoral. And after life, the idea is introduce the system in 2 plants that we are working, Global Omnium is working nowadays, is Tablada in the south of Spain, where is in Sevilla, where the temperature is higher than, for example, in Valencia. Then will be good for us because the temperature is an important parameter in the kinetics of the anaerobic diesters. And in Añarbe, that is in the north of Spain, where the temperatures are lower, then will be good points for the validation of this tool. And the idea of or the objectives in the next 5 years after life will be working in 40 facility, but let's see what happens. Maybe will be more, maybe will be less, but this is the idea that we have, because we think it's a good software for the operators. And if you want more information during the project, here you have the web page, like Ecodigestion, where you can see all the events or all the results of the project. And that's it. You have some questions or something like that. Okay.
Okay, Paul, thank you very much. And thank you very much because also your generosity, because this week we can share that you received the visit of some students from the program Technovation Girls in the plant. Yeah. They are a group of children, of girls that are working with this project and trying to develop an APP to connect the hotels, restaurant, and HoReCa sector that produce waste, organic waste that could be treated into the depuration water treatment plant and transforming the waste into biogas in energy and perhaps biofertilizer after. I would like to come back to your comments just to encourage you to think about why not to submit a new third life climate change project in all this in the priority of mitigation, and it will be published very soon on the 15th. Why not to work in this digital twin, etc., and also allow to me to talk about this called innovation fund that could finance for the next year in a pilot project up to 15 million euros. Excellent work. Congratulations, because you can inspire that important around 18,000 depuration water treatment plants that are in Europe that could be, because you have all the legal permissions for treat the waste. And okay, I want to congratulate Global Omnium. That is, I'm sorry for my mistake before, is an important private group. Is one of the leading group in water management from Valencia. They are from the Valencia region, from Castellón. And they are not only in Valencia, but in Africa and Latin America. And as you can see, they are really innovative. And they run the O Hub. It's also an initiative for startups. And now we are celebrating, as you know, the International Day of Environment of the United Nations. And this official program of the Green Week of the European Commission allowed to us now to connect with Portugal and with our partner in center of Portugal. Congratulations, because as you know, we are now in the middle of the at the end of the Portuguese presidency of the European Union, and we are going to connect to our partner in Aguas de Centro Litoral with Joana Vieira, that they are going to validate what not only the software but the concept, the idea, And okay, bom dia, obrigado.
Bom dia.
Joanna.
Bom dia, obrigada. Well, good morning to the entire audience. First of all, I'd like to thank the invitation to participate on this event. I will share my screen. I think you are already. I'm here on behalf of Águas do Centro Litoral. Paulo has presented very well the project, so I will spend some minutes to present our company. Águas do Centro Litoral is a public company, is part of the Águas de Portugal holding company that plays a structural role in the environment sector in Portugal. We are one of the 13 operational companies that are acting on all the Portuguese area, and we act on about 5,500 square kilometers in the central coastal area of Portugal. Well, we serve 30 municipalities with a coverage rate for water supply and wastewater supply, treatment, of about 86% and 76% respectively. And here are some photos of our main wastewater treatment plants. On water supply, we serve more than 300,000 people, and when on wastewater treatment, we serve about 750,000 people nowadays. Well, we manage the entire urban cycle, water cycle, with the exception of building distribution and collection network. Here are some numbers of our main facilities. And now talking a bit about this project, and is a great honor for us to be partners of the project Ecodigestion 2. And for this partnership, we choose the Coimbrão wastewater treatment plant that is located in Leiria, in the center of Portugal. And this wastewater treatment plant has the particularity of having been designed to treat pig manure as a co-digestion substrate with the plant sludge. So in this project, as Paulo presented, is this case study that we are studying. These are some numbers about our wastewater treatment plant. It is designed to serve about 250,000 people, and here is the average flow rate and some information about the plant. About the project, we are at this moment on Action B, where Global Omnium is validating the software and in their demo plant, as Paul showed, and they are using our sludge and pig manure to validate the software. And afterwards, we'll be testing the technology at real scale at Coimbrão. So for now, the activity is mainly in Spain, in a Court Manager wastewater treatment plant. We are doing here all the characterization of our manure and sludge, but we are still in demo plant phase. Well, I want to be brief, and I'm representing Águas do Centro Litoral in this event, but I would like to introduce our team that is directly involved in this project. It's not a very big team, but it's a multidisciplinary team, and it's a pleasure to work with them. And I would like to present all my colleagues in this project. Well, I thank this invitation one more time, and I'll be pleased to ask any question if there's some. Thank you very much.
Obrigado, Joana. I have
Obrigado.
first, congratulations for being open-minded to innovation and to be part of our consortium. My question, how you, from a Portuguese perspective, you have also the Next Generation program and also the LIFE. We are now starting this financial period, 2021-2027, that it means up to 2030, because we are talking of that rule N+3. It means a lot of funding, a lot of EU funding for the recovery plan, but at the same time, LIFE has almost doubled the budget from 3,300 million euros up to 5,400 million euros. Okay, how do you see from Portugal the possibility of doing bigger scale projects in this challenge of the Environmental Day? And are you working with local startups in Portugal? Will you be open to work with local startups, Joana?
Yes, I think that we are in the time of innovation. So it's one of our main strategies in the company is to open our activity to new projects, and we are starting now. We have a new department in the R&D areas. It's because we have this idea to have a bigger involvement with new projects. The sustainability and the circular economy is on the everywhere. So I think that we are obviously we are open, and I think that is our future, is to optimize our. We have many plants that have a lot of projects that are starting now, and I think that we have a great future in innovation area.
Okay, thank you very much. You know, European Union expect to become climate neutral in 2050. And okay, I don't know if you have an special position from your part in that.
On the as I said, Águas do Centro Litoral is a part of a big holding company, Águas de Portugal, that acts in all Portuguese territory, and there's a big project on neutral with the objective of neutral carbon. I think to 2030 on main of the facilities, and is a big project that Águas de Portugal has on role.
It means before of the European Union challenge. I wanted to highlight that.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. And now we are going to connect from Centro Litoral. Where are you? In which city? Joana?
Here, Leiria.
Lydia.
Leiria, yeah.
Okay.
Just in the center of Portugal.
Okay. From the center of Portugal, presidency of the European Union, we connect with Valencia. And we connect with Mr. Adrián Noeda. He's the director of innovation for small and medium enterprises and internationalization. Adrián, you have the floor.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. I'm going to explain a little bit about European funds and opportunities. For example, I know you have explained it before, but this event, the Life Ecodigestion, it's based in a live project. I'm going to explain a little bit the new program that is going to be launched in the following weeks. Let me share the screen just a moment. Well, the life program, it's a great opportunity for this type of projects. It has more than 5,000 million euros for the next program. It is an increase of more than 2,000 million from the last period. It was 3,000 and now it's 5,000. So it's quite an increase that we need to use it for environmental projects. The life program is the biggest program in Europe financing the environmental projects. There are different lines. For example, up to now there was climate change and environmental programs, but it's important to mention that from this year on, there will be new programs. For example, it's important to mention the transition to clean energy, because it could be applied to projects such as Life Ecodigestion in this energy program that will be launched in 2 weeks. Well, which are the requirements? It's up to 60% of non-refundable grant. It has increased 5% from the last period. The duration of the projects is around 1-5 years. Usually the average is 4 years. And an average budget per project of 1-2 million euros. Could be a bit more, until 3, 4, or even 5 million euros. But the average the project has 2 million. And of course, it is important to mention that usually the consortiums are between private public entities, such as Life Ecodigestion with public and private, such as Finova. And also it is quite common to include SMEs or private company with innovative products. Well, I wanted to mention that this program will be launched in the following 2 weeks, and there will be some info days in June, 22nd of June, and the following days. So any of you who want to be informed of the new program, of course, you could contact us, and we'll inform you of the info days that will be launched in the following days. Well, apart from Life, Juan Manuel already mentioned the Innovation Fund. It's a good opportunity. Last year 2020 was the first year of this program, and in 2021 there will be a new call. It is 10 billion euros of investment up to 2030. So what this call is financing, it's the infrastructure. It's the difference with the Life program is the Innovation Fund will help you to build, for example, a renewable energy generation plant, or some waste treatment using always related to energy, but you could build the plant with the infrastructure to fund everything that Life program doesn't finance you. So it could be a good complement of a Life project. For example, you apply for a Life project to finance your innovation technology, and with the Innovation Fund you could build, for example, the water treatment plant. Also, I'm going to be very, very quick in this, but for SMEs, it's important to mention that there is a new call. It is based in the SM instrument. It's the European Innovation Acceleration call. It is focusing in SMEs, less than 250 employees, and it has two different lines. There is the Pathfinder for research companies, for scientifics, universities who has very new technologies, and the acceleration for startup as SMEs that are closer to the market. So they have already a prototype and they want to reach the market. So it offers 2.5 million euros of grant and 15 million euros of investment. It's a great opportunities for the startups and SMEs who wants to commercialize their innovative products. Okay. Just to mention that if there is someone interested in this, just contact us. There are two steps. One first step that they could apply right now from today, and a second step that there will be the next deadline will be in October 6th. So it's a great opportunity for all the startups in water and waste treatment and environmental issues, and of course 1,000. I forgot to mention that is 1,000 million euros for only for 2021. So a great opportunity. Okay, thank you very much, and don't hesitate to contact us if you have any question regarding this and other EU funds opportunities.
Okay, thank you very much, Adrian. As you can see about the EU funding, life or results of a life could be transformed in a bigger project. And then it's because of that we have to develop a holistic vision for the post-life project. And we have not mentioned other tools like Interreg. Interreg could be also a quite interesting tool to cooperate the region of Centro of Portugal with the region of Valencia and with other regions. In this case, it can be the Interreg Europe. It will be a call in December. What we have to understand in this new financial period, you can combine different financial sources. Anyway, I would like to say hello to the people that are following us from Brazil, Ecuador, Colombia, and also from Belgium and from Portugal and from Germany, especially in Latin America, because the people that is connecting in this morning time, they are doing, they are in, as you can imagine, they have done an enormous effort to connect us. And now we are going to come back to Canary Islands, and we are going to connect with Mr. Saúl Oliva Cabrera, that he's going to explain what is Life Niebla. We are going to start now. We have invited other pilot demonstration project, live pilot demonstration project, to do networking, because perhaps we can inspire each other to work together in the future, perhaps in new projects, and also to do networking. We are going to, in the chat, we are publishing the LinkedIn CVs from all the participants, and as that it can help to this necessary networking to submit new proposal. Saúl, you have the floor. In which island you are?
Good morning. Yeah, we are located in Gran Canaria. Our project is called Life Nieblas, and as you mentioned, is looking into piloting new reforestation methods and water collection methods. So,
perhaps you can explain us about the origin of your patent also.
Yeah, sure. If you want, I can start by sharing my screen and please, start with the presentation. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Sorry. There we go. So yeah, our project financed by LIFE program. It's reforestation and climate change mitigation. We are testing, evaluating, and looking into transfer of innovative methods of fog collection and irrigation systems. We have 8 institutions involved in this project from Portugal and Spain, and we have a 4-year project ahead of us, finishing in 2024. This project was funded by 55% by LIFE program, and it's got 2.2 million investment. As you can see here, we also count with partners from northern Spain. They are scientists and researchers, specialists in and have worked previously with us. And our Portuguese partners take a role as replication partners, and they are located in Viseu. We have a little chart here of the economic contributions to the project, which LIFE program has the bigger part. The objective of this project are to do habitat recovery in areas subject to wildfires and the high risk of desertification due to erosion, big runoff events, etc. We are looking into take advantage from natural resources such as fog collection, therefore reducing greenhouse gas emissions from traditional methods. One of our partners, HCA, is also working in the innovation of the fog collectors itself, which is currently undergoing. And finally, we are developing new reforestation and irrigation methods that will increase survival rates of the species planted and reduce investment overall. Our site in Gran Canaria is in the north of the island, in Valle Seco. It's in a southeast facing slope. We are currently working in a 36-hectare area. This area is characterized by having a high insulation slopes. With advanced erosion processes ongoing, increased by wildfires and high rain events during winter. And because of the yearly wildfires, we have an abundant presence of substitute shrubs and pioneering species that are basically propagators of wildfires. So you can see here a couple of pictures of the area. This is the main area where we are currently working, and our fog collectors are located at the top of that clear hill. And then in the bottom half is where we are undertaking the reforestation activities. Just close up of the area, you can see some clearance of the vegetation and the lack of soil. And then just a couple of more close-ups of the area. This is after the last couple of wildfires in the last couple of years. Here you can see the reforestation area with the collectors now installed and where the 4 different methods will be located. We've got traditional method, we've got an automatic irrigation system that is being developed by one of our partners. The cocoon system, which is a self-sustained and biodegradable system previously done by another LIFE program, the Green Link. And finally, what we call the individual fog collectors. So yes, as I said, they are all supplied by the main fog collectors. This will be the prototypes, the traditional, fog water collectors, the ones that we are using at the moment. They are 4 meters high. They are made of galvanized steel and resist up to 100 kilometers an hour sustained winds. We use a mesh, nylon mesh, UV protected. This structure comes with a water deposit that gathers all the water droplets, and finally the foundation, which is buried underground. First of all, we installed these fog collectors in April, and only in the last couple of weeks we have already collected around 3,500 liters of water, and it's still dry months. So we are hoping as summer comes in and we get more help of the trade winds, we will collect much more water and probably faster as well. The cocoon system, as I said, is a self-sustained system that will protect seedlings individually and will it's a deposit that holds 20 liters of water, and it will irrigate individually every plant. So it also protects it from wind and small herbivores. And as it's biodegradable, within time, it will work as a feeding stock for the plant itself. Then our individual fall collectors is a simple idea coming from other scientific observations in other projects where the protectors for big herbivores were observed to collect moist from the clouds and therefore irrigating every seedling individually. So that's something that we're testing as well. Finally, this is a ADS, sorry, this is a schematic representation of how it would work. It collects water discontinuously in a way that once the water reaches the level, discharge level, it will equally and simultaneously irrigate the whole area at the same time, always ensuring sound delivery of water to every seedling. Finally, for the innovation of the fall collectors, we've got our team in Tenerife dealing with the efficiency of the filament and also testing prototypes in a built-in wind tunnel that we are currently working on at the site in Tenerife. That will be all from me. Thank you very much. I don't know if there's any questions. You can follow us in the social media, Instagram, Facebook, or look for our website. And also, if you would like, you have my email there to contact us.
Okay, Saul, my previous question about the origin of the patent, how it was born, this idea, from who? Was the, because I think it comes from the university or not, or where does it?
Do you mean the patent for the fall collectors or the project?
No, for the collection, fall collection.
Yeah, so the fall water collections comes from a private company called Niebla Agua. They are based in Tenerife. So they are the designers of these structures. Now, the university, as you well mentioned, along with ICEA, are working in the innovative design, if you will, where they will build a more transportable, transferable, and easy to mount structure. So the idea is that once this project is finished, anybody could potentially use fall collectors, whether that's for agriculture or the reforestation activities, etc.
Okay, thank you very much, Saul. Quite interesting. I wanted to highlight the importance in the logical of life of that multidisciplinary approach. European Union approves projects where you involve universities, users, private companies that are the providers of the infrastructure as this nice project. And congratulations, because fighting against water desertification for the water collection and fighting against desertification is a must, especially in Canary Islands, where because of that, in Canary Islands, in Gran Canaria, 2 years ago, you suffered a big fire that was a drama. 35% of the surface, of the forest surface, disappeared. And okay, and why?
Yes, exactly. And we hope with our cloud forest, once again, we will be able to collect that water and bring it back to our underground galleries again. Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay, so and now we are going to connect with Mr. Jaime Ezquerra Martinez. He's from FCC Environment. He's a big corporate from that. The origin is from Spain. He's R&D and the project technician in the field of waste treatment, and he's going to present us the project Life Landfill Biofuel. The floor is yours, Jaime. No te oímos, Jaime. intenta poner el volumen, yo creo, porque no estás conectado, no estás silenciado, sube el volumen, trata de subir el volumen.
O si puede desconectar su diadema, quizás no está
Sí.
escuchándose. Puede desconectar igual su diadema porque quizás no está dando audio a
¿Puedes
través de eso.
desconectar? Sí, desconecta el cable del ordenador y a ver. No se te oye, Jaime. Entonces, intenta desconectar tu headphone. No, pero quita el cable del ordenador para utilizar si tienes micrófono en el ordenador, o si no tienes que seleccionarlo.
¿Me oyen ahora?
Perfecto.
Ahora perfecto. Adelante. Sí, adelante, se te oye perfecto.
El que no les oye soy yo.
Ah, bueno.
Ahora creo que sí.
Sí. Bueno, como te tenemos que oír a ti.
Lamento la dificultad técnica. Muchísimas gracias por la invitación. Thank you so much for this invitation to join this event. Jaime Ezquerra from FCC Medio Ambiente, and I'd like to present you our live project, Live Landfill Biofuel. It's a project where we obtain biogas from a landfill, and we upgrade this biogas to get biomethane, and we use it as fuel for light and heavy duty vehicles. I'll leave you with the presentation. Can you see the presentation okay?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. Maybe some of you know FCC Medio Ambiente belongs to FCC Group, a very big company. Originally, it was a building company, but now it has the environmental services company, this FCC Medio Ambiente, and we have a water treatment and infrastructure company as well. We work in 30 countries around the world, and we have around 60,000 people working. FCC Medio Ambiente manages municipal services, and especially not only refuse collection, street cleansing, and that kind of services, but a lot of treatment, waste treatment, and recycling facilities. You have some data, and I will share you the presentation to know the company slightly better. I'd like to talk to you about live landfill biofuel. As some of you know, it's mandatory to obtain the biogas, to collect the biogas from landfills, because it's an extremely dangerous substance for the environment. In fact, if we are not able to use it as energy, we must burn it in a torch, but we are using properly to obtain energy. In the landfills, you get biogas with more or less 50 or 60% of methane, CO2, and other substances like nitrogen, oxygen, water, and sulfuric. The biomethane we are obtaining has a purity of around 97–98%, more than enough to use it as a fuel in vehicles, and very small percentages of CO2 and nitrogen. In this picture, in the right one, you can see the beginning of the upgrading facility, almost finished in Granada, and it will start to work in just a couple of months or
maybe 1 month, maybe even 1 month, yes. The main objective of this project is to get this biomethane with a good quality and to use it for vehicles. In fact, we will be using a heavy-duty vehicle that we buy to Iveco, one of the partners, and 3 light vehicles from SEAT. Because this biomethane is able to be used as natural gas. The location is in Granada, more or less 15 kilometers from Granada in Alendín, in Ecocentral Granada, place that receives the whole west of the province. I was there yesterday, had the luck to see the projects. Here you can see the main objectives. We contribute to the development of the circular economy. And I think that with this project, we are giving a hand to the whole sector because it will improve its competitiveness. This is the percentage. Around 97 or 98%. We separate the different compounds of the biogas with 2 technologies, the membranes and the VPSA. And once we finish and we obtain the biomethane, we can use it as fuel for these vehicles, full operative. I want to point this. Or we could inject in the grid to be consumed for companies, homes, etc. In this pilot installation, we are almost finished in Granada. We expect to obtain more or less 200 cubic meters per hour of biomethane, not biogas, but upgraded to biomethane. Our aim in the project is to use it with 1 heavy vehicle and 3 light vehicles, but this amount of biomethane would be enough for more or less 30 heavy-duty vehicles. Once we finish this pilot plant to a full-scale plant, it would be enough biomethane to work hundreds of heavy-duty vehicles. In this project, we are creating as well full-time jobs. And well, I know some of these people working right now in the project, and they will be working after the project. Part of the project is to the replicability and transferability to different landfills in Europe. We expect that in the 3 years after the project to have 2 or maybe 3 replicas in different landfills in Europe. And the difference between the pilot plant and a full-scale one, it's 4 times bigger. I think that most of you know the biomethane, but here you have a scheme to see. We obtain it from different things. In this case, from organic matter and other wastes from the landfill. We get the biogas, we upgrade it, and we can use it, the biomethane, for vehicles or for the grid, as we saw. The consortium is integrated with 7 partners, FCC as coordinator, SysAdvance, the company to upgrade the biogas, SEAT, providing the 3 light vehicles, Iveco, a heavy-duty vehicle, to use it in the project. The Universidad of Granada will be studying the biogas. Artificial Technology Center, and Gasnam in charge of the communication of the project. There are different projects in contact with this one. Some of them are pretty well known, and some of them will be in a short period of time. The project is 4 years. We are just in the midterm, more or less, and the funds we receive are the 55%, sorry, and the total project is, I think that 4,300,000 euros. And the partners are contributing with over 2 million euros. As you can see, we are launching and developing the circular economy. It's a very important point of the project to reduce dramatically the emissions of CO2, NO, different substances. In some of them, the reduction is over 98%, almost 100%.
Sí, Jaime, vamos por favor terminando. Perfecto, ya.
Okay, I have finished, and I just wanted to wish you good luck and to thank you for this opportunity for us.
Jaime, congratulations, and it can inspire us in other isolated areas like Iceland. I think in Mallorca with Emaya or in Canary Islands can be quite interesting, this idea from waste to biofuel, waste to fuel, waste for vehicles. Congratulations. And imagine in these synergies in networking, why not because the biogas that we can obtain from the depuration water treatment plant, from the digesters, from that organic waste, it could also help to move some heavy vehicles. Why not in the future? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
We will be in touch, and now we are going to go to the area of water stress, a worsening global problem. And as you may know, there is a quite interesting report in the Committee of the Regions about water scarcity that around 12 years ago, the Committee of the Regions approved a report about this global problem, about this worsening problem. And for that, we have the visions from different entities. And now we are going to connect, we go from Madrid to Madrid, and we are going to connect with the head of international affairs of the Spanish Association of Water Supply and Sanitation. And here we have Gary Vilalanda Sokolova. And of course, now, Gary, we have different new legal requirements from the European Commission about the reuse of water, especially for the new use from the water depuration treatment plant for example, the agricultural sector or for the irrigation. Anyway, the floor is yours, and we are quite interested in your vision from one of the countries that has more risky situation in the field of desertification.
Thanks a lot, Juanma. Hi, everyone. It's a pleasure being here. The approach of my presentation is going to be quite a different one from what we've heard until now. So this is more like a policy-based presentation. And what I want to to talk about today is the main challenges for a wider implementation of the water and energy nexus in the circular economy. So I will have 4 parts in my presentation today. They will be all quite short because we don't have much time. So I will start with a bit of like a rationale and the framework. What are the possibilities when we talk about water and energy in the circular economy, and the main challenges, and some conclusions which maybe are more like food for thoughts rather than conclusions. So if we look into the rationale and framework, well, as you all know, in 2015, we had the first circular economy action plan in the EU. In 2019, we had the Green Deal, in which 2020 came with the new circular economy action plan. As Jaime del Castillo said before, circular economy should be understood as a means to an end for sustainable development, but also for integrated water resources management and for energy transition. In this sense, in the EU Green Deal, it stated that they are looking for climate and resource front runners. Looks like we as water services, we definitely are those front runners because we contribute to the circular economy in terms of water, nutrients, and energy. So I'm not going to go deep into this slide. Don't worry, don't panic. It's quite a lot of information here, but this is just to show where we're standing and what is the framework that we have to deal with. So on the one hand, we have to the right side here, to the left side, you can see all this water directives, regulations, both at the EU level, but also at the national one that each country may have. We have it for sure. But we also have to consider the fertilizers regulation. We have 3 new pieces of laws here and strategies, like the fertilizers regulation, the future EU soil strategy, and also some others. And then we also have our own national pieces here. The taxonomy regulation is a major piece of legislation right now at the EU level, since it will determine who can receive financing if they are sustainable or not. As you know, there are 6 objectives. One of them, well, 2 of them are based on climate change, which has already been presented a delegated act on this topic. And then probably in September, there's a new delegated act coming with the other 4 objectives, one of which is the circular economy. So we'll see what comes with that major delegated act on the taxonomy regulation. And of course, we have all the climate change topic here, with like the EU climate change adaptation strategy, the future EU climate law, but also 2 directives which are going to be reviewed now based on the energy efficiency and clean energy. So we also have to think of how we will be dealing with this to implement it and transpose it at the national levels. So this is just to show where we're standing when we talk about water and energy. We always hear that we are a sector that is consuming a lot of energy. Well, that can be relative. Of course, we need energy to go through our treatments and processes. And that's probably where we need to look into being more efficient. But too frequently, I think we forget how much energy we can produce too. And if you look into the trend, at least in the Spanish water utilities, we're seeing that there is a huge trend in terms of becoming, so you produce all the energy that you need to consume. So we're really going closer to this climate efficiency too. So, but despite this, we're facing several challenges that are really hindering the possibility of further developing the circularity of the water sector. I will focus only on 2 of them here today. So one would be the strategic and legal framework that we have So this framework has to promote and facilitate the development of the full potential of the water as a catalyst for circular economy. So what we need is that if we consider that circular economy is a means to an end to achieve sustainable development, the whole strategy should be based on a holistic and multi-sector approach in terms to promote coherence and coordination amongst all the policies of the different sectors. And if we think of water as a catalyst for the circular economy in other sectors, given that it's fundamental for every other sector, we need to think that we need a strategic framework that includes water in its fundamentals, allowing for identifying these possible connections between the different sectors and the water sector, but we also need sound water policies that include this approach to circular economy. And of course, what we need is a solid regulatory framework which ensures both the quality and the safety of the processes and the products, both for the human health and the environment. But this is not really what we have, because currently what we find is strategies both at the EU and the national level that lack ambition when we think of the water potential for a circular economy. And that has to do with the circular economy action plan at the EU level, but also the Spanish strategy and first action plan. Probably there is a too big focus only on water reuse when we talk about water and circular economy. And we feel that there is a lack of considering the nutrients recovery and the energy parts. And that's what we have found in our national first action plan at the national level. It's talking too much about about water reuse, and it's also considering measures that are already stated and in other pieces of legislation at the planning level. So there is not much new really coming. What we also have found both at the national, at the EU level, is that still we have this silo approach, and we need to interlink, to really make coherent all the different sectors. And we also have this lack of coherence and coordination amongst policies and legislation. Some examples, being very quick, the EU fertilizers regulation bans the use of sewage sludge for compost and digestate. What is the point of having a specific directive to ensure safe use of sewage sludge if then we have other pieces of legislation that cannot really make that happen? Same will happen at the national level. The EU future soil strategy really talks of sewage sludge as a pollutant of the soils, but says nothing of the opportunities that may come from that. We still have a tax burden on cogeneration in wastewater treatment plants, and there are some other like fiscal pressures on the use of clean energies in the urban water cycle. So this doesn't help to further promote and implement circularity. And if we look into the economic and financial challenges, we have a big problem for the sector in general, which is the lack of investment and the aging infrastructure. And this, of course, brings an extra burden for the promotion of the circular economy. We need, of course, economic and financing incentives, but not only that, we also need, if we want to upscale and really make this practice as a long-term sustainable one, we need to build economic and we need to generate economic frameworks that incentivize the circular economy in water. We need to further promote the public-private partnerships, and we also need to define legal and fiscal frameworks that facilitate the energy transition, as I mentioned before, with the tax burden. So just to finish, if we think about water in circular economy, is it a paradigm or is it a paradox? So whether we want it to be one or the other, it's all a matter of political will. Yeah, thank you. this was it.
Thank you very much, Gary, for your very clear explanation. As we can see, sometimes we have to work harder in facilitating that legal and administrative barriers that we have at the moment. We have different legal tools as parliamentary questions, as petitions in the Commission's in the Petitions Committee to the European Parliament, but also, why not, the Innovation Pact or also the live programs, because we can design our package of matching the different legislation with a purpose. That is the linking and analyzing how we are going to bring the water from the depuration water treatment plant for irrigation, but at the same time we have all these programs for in terms of security, in terms of soil. Quite interesting, and also, Gary, we could be thinking, and we have in this networking today, in this session, that we have now in this moment 69 participants in Zoom, but we have also another 10 through YouTube, and we have here different entities. Why not to think in what they call before the governance life projects that are focused in the legislation. And okay, congratulations. Thank you very much. And I hope we are going to send to you some info about the new life to spread in your partners, in your members, because it's quite interesting that all of us work in the same direction. That is, of course, fighting against climate change, all these ODS of United Nations, but to do in a practical way. We have the right to use that EU funding. And now the priority is climate change, renewable energy, water, and is what you do. How many members you have in your association?
We have around 300 members, mainly water operators, but we also have other entities and people who are just interested in the urban water sector. But it's basically water utilities.
Okay.
Both, public, private, and mixed, because that's what we have in Spain. That's our richness, I think.
Okay, congratulations. And now we are going to from Madrid we are going to Brussels, and we are going to connect with the Director of Operations of Water Europe, with Mr. Andrea Rubini. Andrea, you should connect. Okay, Andrea.
I'm connected. Good morning. Good to see you again, and thank you very much for this opportunity. The presentation that have been shown up to now is really very much interesting. Starting from the project itself, and then on the implications that we have seen, and I really appreciate also the last presentation, because we have many common points that can be shared. Well, just an introduction, and then some slides about what is our point of view about the water challenges. So if I can share my screen, I represent Water Europe, that is the voice and promoter of the water-ready innovation and research and development. And in Europe, we changed our name in 2019 from WSSTP, the Water Supply Sanitation Technology Platform, into Water Europe to better cover our mission and actions for the water sector. What is Water Europe then? We have a mission that, of course, we want to coordinate, to improve the coordination between the water ecosystem, the water sector, and of course enhance its capacity of being more performance and more competitive at global level, not only in Europe, and of course contribute to resolve this uprising challenges of the water sector through research, innovation, and market promotion and uptake. We have a strategy because of the Water Europe it's a multi-stakeholder association. We actually cover the full value chain of the water sector, and you can see from on the right of the slide, you can see that it is organized in 7 colleges, where we have the multinational corporations, the research and technology developers, utilities, the suppliers, the small medium enterprises, and the large water users. And then we have 2 additional colleges for public authorities and civil society organization. So our vision is based on the value of water. It is a value-based organization, and we believe that a particular model can apply in our society in order to solve the water and the water-related challenges of a development and of a sustainable development, that are the water-oriented living labs. Our vision is basically focused on the matter that water is scarce. There is a wide pollution of the environment. We have climate change that an impact, as we know. And then what we want to achieve is a water smart society, where we want to recognize the true value of water. That is not its cost, but it's what we can do in terms of production, in terms of benefit, in terms of healthy life of the citizens and the business. We want to make sure that water is available in the right time, in the right quality, at the right quantity, and the right price, to all users. And this, will be necessary in order to build a water-based circular economy and to increase the capacity of our water system, and not only the water system, but all the related systems that are the basis of the sustainability of our societies, are resilient against the impact of different kind of challenges. You can see from the slide on the right that we mean to achieve a water smart society and water smart economy through innovation in the technology that is necessary, through rethinking the infrastructures, going from what it is, the traditional gray infrastructure to a mix, an hybrid system of gray and green infrastructure. And we need to build, a strong governance that will be able to manage a water smart economy in a water smart society. Our proposal in terms of innovation areas is made of the principle that we do not have only one kind of water, but we have multiple waters that can serve multiple users for multiple purposes for different products. And this is the real value of water. So the multiple waters, meaning we need a strong digitalization, a strong increase of the boosting the transition of the water sector into digital age. We should recognize the value in water, so what is contained within our water streams, and invest not only from the point of view of the finance, but invest in research and innovation on hybrid, gray and green infrastructures. Water Europe has 3 programs, the advocacy program, the collaboration program, and the market program, and altogether they want to support the stakeholders of the water sector to be proactive and have their say, and to create a critical mass with the European institutions and with international institutions about to better advocate, to better collaborate, and to better promote the market uptake of the innovative solutions. Concerning the advocacy program, this is also particularly important because we have a number of priorities, and of course, the advocacy program is based on a number of principles. But we have these priorities that goes towards the policy making and the implementation, because we put together the capacity of the advocacy of being in the middle of the game between policy and implementation of the actions. Now, if you want to enter into the real challenges of what we see, the challenge is that, there is something that is pretty interesting to show, which is the matter that freshwater systems are under an incredible strain. Let's say that in terms of freshwater species, we have lost 83% of the species from 1970. So it's unbelievable. And of course, around 70% of the wetlands are lost since, the 1980, which is, it is not just, a matter of environmental damage or environmental impact. It's a matter of impact and damage to the economies and our society. Consequences. Well, the consequence is that the more we go ahead without changing, the approach on water management, the worse will be in terms of having, whatever will be exacerbated with several challenges from any sector. And what we have seen also is that it becomes important, it is a business imperative to manage water in a different way. And what we have seen that could be also a very good indicator to see how much is the health of the overall ecosystem is the indicator of the biodiversity in our systems. Now, innovation. Water Europe developed a CIRA that is aimed at creating new technologies, new funding models, and new business models and partnership. We also revised the CIRA that was published early in 2017. Now in 2020, we modified it with an updated version in order to respond to the European Green Deal and to Horizon Europe. But what is important is that we highlight the matter that we need to identify the quantification of the supply and demand of water. And what is important is that the systemic, holistic approach that we should have in managing water is that we have to find those opportunities that can integrate into real innovative solutions for all the sectors, urban, rural environment, and industrial water, because they are not disconnected. We have a number of obstacles to progress. That means, obstacles to progressing into the circular economy society. And lack of reuse opportunities and seeing waste as a resource. And still, we are locked into a linear model: take, make, consume, and dispose, which is just the opposite of the circularity. But still, if you look at our production cycles, our systems, this is the real situation in our societies. So then we have a number of other problems that, for instance, it's the real valuation of the key resources, because we really need to understand what is the value against the price of water. That are two different completely concepts. We need really to reconnect policy as more middle enterprise in Europe, because they are the key drivers of change. And we need really to work on local solutions at catchment basis level, because at the end of the day, water is a global challenge, but it's a local issue. So in a summary, what we see from Water Europe is that we need really to secure a long-term resilience of our society, the sustainability and the stability of water. So we need to secure water. We need new kind of investment, new governance models. And this should also take into account the opportunity of investing on solutions that can make our society and the industrial, the rural area and even the cities to take advantage of the values that are contained in our water streams. So this is an holistic water strategy. We need, the connection between water stewardship, the innovation, and water management. We see living labs as the perfect place where research, innovation, testing of innovation, implementation of the innovation and scale up can really be supported by a collective governance of the resources. And for instance, going back, for instance, to the industrial engagement, there is really the need, to promote water strategies to support business strategies. Something that I didn't mention is that there is an impressive data about the utilization of fresh water, the abstraction of fresh water in Europe, that is that the combined utilization of energy and industrial use of fresh water is 59% of the overall abstraction in Europe, which is unbelievably high because it is around 25 to 29% at global level. So it means that we also need, to have a particular look into the interaction between industry, rural, and urban through new concept of symbiosis, as could be the industrial-urban symbiosis, and new model of collaboration between these areas. In order to do this, Water Europe has a vision leadership teams that is made of think tank around, 3 vertical actions, that's industry, cities, and rural. And then we have 3 horizontal clusters, horizontal VLTs, vision leadership teams, on digital for water, on circular water, and hybrid gray and green infrastructures. We have a number of 20 working groups that work on different topics. And all these metrics is a 3D collaboration matrix, collaborates in order to produce papers, produce impact on legislation, on funding for the research and innovation. As we said, we strongly believe in the water-oriented living labs. We have an atlas of the European water-oriented living labs that set also the criteria for the identification of the living labs in Europe. Like it could be, Copenhagen is just an example. We are going to revise also this publication this year, because it's a living publication, as a living labs could be. Water Europe is involved in the communication networking policy and water-oriented labs and clustering activities in 17 European funded projects so far. I take the opportunity to invite you to Water Innovation Europe 2021 that will start on the 14th of June. Registrations are open, registrations are free, so you can join and pick up all the sessions across the week that could be more interesting to you. This is, the link to the next event. Our publication are available on our website. So apart from the matter that I really great, Global Omnium being one of our members in Water Europe, there is a reason why becoming a member of Water Europe. It is because, of course, we want to be the Water Smart Society, to grow the expertise people can have, and companies can have, to broaden their network, the influence, they can increase the business, but then at the end of the day, we can also have fun together and build together a Water Smart Society. Thank you very much for your attention. I will be happy, to receive any question now and in the future days. And once again, I give back the floor.
Thank you very much, Andrea. And okay, we are at the end of the webinar, a little bit late. We are 15 minutes late, and I wanted perhaps if I don't know if Jaime Castillo wants to do the closing words of this webinar. Jaime, if you want to.
Yes, thank you very much. I'm not so important to do so. Probably you should be the one to close this seminar, but as the actual organizer. But I want to congratulate all the participants for the quality of their presentations, and as Gary has highlighted in her presentation, I think it's important that all of us will force will inform and will force the government and the legislators to make them change their mind and consider that not circular economy, global warming, and all these concepts are not just words. We need to transform them in facts and use the laws to let us to work on them and to get the best for the society. We need to be able to use the products of the wastewater treatment plants to reintroduce them and to reintroduce the energy produced there in the cycle in order to make it cheaper and safer for the society, the activity of wastewater treatment. That's all. Thank you, Juanma.
Thank you very much. Okay, I'm really inspired. Thank you very much, all the participants, the speakers, and I want to thank the participants, that 70 people that are still connected. And okay, we have some tips about EU funding, EU challenge of legislation, and in this International Day of Environment that is tomorrow, we're celebrating in this in this Green Week of the European Commission. We should be inspired in staying connected with Andrea, with the Spanish Association of water treatment enterprises, with of course Global Omnium as leader of this project, to think in new projects for this new financial period. Funding are there, challenge has defined, and we have a lot of work. Let's keep connected. And now we are going to publish some questions, and we ask you to vote. It's some seconds. When does the EU expect to become climate neutral under the EU Green Deal? The second, which is the overall wastewater treatment plant electricity use in Europe per year? The third, how many wastewater plants are in Europe? As you can see, what we learn today, we can scale in other plants. And finally, which is the LIFE program? Use funding instrument for the industry creative sector, use funding instrument for humanitarian action, use funding instrument for the environment and climate action. Please vote, and we will see now the solutions. Eduardo? Okay, and the right answer, congratulations, 93% of voters, is 2050. Right question about which is the overall wastewater. Congratulations again to the 57%. Can you imagine? 0.8% of the electric consumption is for the wastewater treatment plants. For about how many wastewater plants is 18,000 plants, right? Congratulations for the 43% of the voters. And again, for LIFE is 93%. Okay, thank you very much for attending this webinar, and we will keep in touch. Now you will see some info about the next webinar, because the Green Week will be also the next week, and also some videos about this kind of projects. Thank you very much, and stay connected and stay safe with the COVID-19. Thank you very much.
Ideas. There are ideas that change the way we work.
In other centuries, they would have called it magic.
Communicate better with each other.
Hello?
Ideas that got smarter and smarter and smarter. They're the ones that caused revolutions.
Goodbye, David.
And others that seem like a thing of the past now. There are the ones that are obsolete, and ideas that promised us freedom, but in the end delivered us nothing but stress, that we tried to compensate with funny ideas. We thought of something different. A simple idea that turns idle workspace into places where you connect with companies, where you share knowledge with other creative minds or digital nomads. Where you are is where you work. You spend fewer hours on the road, and you gain precious time for a better work-life balance. It's called Work Hero. Is it a game changer?
I beg your pardon?
We like to think so. But we'll let you be the judge of that. Check out Work Hero on workhero.com. Work Hero, connecting space and knowledge.
En Global Omnium queremos hablarte de esas pequeñas cosas a las que no damos valor, porque siempre están ahí. Y hablarte de todas esas cosas que nunca fallan, porque cuando a una cosa cotidiana le sumas otra que siempre funciona, suceden cosas extraordinarias. Tan extraordinarias como abrir un grifo y que corra el agua. En Global Omnium llevamos más de 125 años poniendo en valor lo extraordinario. Porque extraordinaria es la gestión eficiente de una red de tuberías superior a la distancia que separa Valencia y Nueva York, ida y vuelta. Porque extraordinario son más de 2.400 personas trabajando 24 horas al día para que en el grifo de tu casa o negocio fluya el agua. Porque extraordinaria es inteligente que te avisa de posibles fugas o de si te has dejado un grifo abierto. Porque extraordinario es el desarrollo y la innovación que logramos para garantizar un buen servicio a más de 6 millones de personas en toda España. Porque extraordinario es la gestión del agua que hemos desarrollado para ser una empresa eficiente y respetuosa con el medio ambiente. Porque extraordinario es aportar soluciones para mejorar la calidad de vida en otros países. Global Omnium es la empresa española líder en la gestión del ciclo integral del agua. Global Omnium, el valor del agua.
delighted, and I hope we'll be able to do it again, and also that the solutions which were showcased here can maybe inspire real-life solutions in the future.
Es un honor que hayan contado con nosotros como aceleradora, con nuestro programa Startup Europe Accelerator, en el primer hackathon con el director general de innovación de la Comisión Europea para soluciones en el campo de cambio climático y reducción de emisiones.
I also congratulate Finova, which was part of the winning team, a team which worked on a really interesting solution to make construction at long last sustainable. Well done. Thank you very much.